Hi, this week's Parsha is Parsha Beshalach, and so many amazing things happen. Bnei Israel leave Egypt, the sea splits, Moshe and Miriam sing, and then after this great experience of liberation, miraculous liberation, the children of Israel come to the borders of Mara, and they're bitter, the bitter waters. And in Shemos, Exodus, pasuk 20, chapter 15, verse 24, pasuk 24, the Torah says, "V'yilnu ha'am al Moshe lemor ma nishteh." The people complained to Moshe, saying, "What shall we drink?" And then we have Yitzhak, verse 25. Then Moshe Yitzhak el Hashem, to Hashem, cries out to Hashem, and Yorehu Hashem eats, and Hashem shows him a tree. Vayishlech et el hamayim vayivim tiku hamayim. And so Hashem shows Moshe this tree, and Moshe throws it in, and throws it into the water, and the bitter waters become sweet. So, wow, there's just so much there, I think. And I think I just think of this phrase my mom would say sometimes, she would say, we may have all the iPods and washing machines or something along those lines, with everything, but life's still pretty hard. And we have this amazing experience where Bnei Israel just freed from slavery, and they have that experience, and they have that super high of yes, free, and then afterwards they come and there's no water, and manishteh, yeah, what are we going to drink? And so one could look at them and say, oh, where's your faith? Why are you complaining? Where's your trust? And maybe there's something to be said for that. There's something to be said. Or we could also see that one other way of looking at it is that, yeah, they're really suffering. Now they're free. That's great, but now they're in pain, in great pain, in great confusion. Imagine being taken out of the desert. That's a scary thing. It's a scary, scary thing. And I think Hashem helps give Moshe some guidance. Well, first of all, of course, Hashem delivers, but then there's some guidance there about turning bitter into sweet. And perhaps the Torah is helping to teach that, or reminding, or one thing to draw from this is that just because life is hard, or there's some hard stuff in your life or in my life, it may not necessarily mean you're doing it wrong. Now, certainly, putting aside, I do think it's my thoughts, words, and actions, as taught by Rabbi Pliskin, that my thoughts are ultimately going to decide my level of happiness. It's certainly my response to whatever happens is really, no one's responsible for my happiness but myself, or my feelings are really, it's my perception, my attitude towards events. So certainly, putting that aside and acknowledging it, my experience is there's difficult things happen, and I'm not at the level where, if I'm having something difficult, I automatically, it's a process of learning to hold that difficulty or perhaps see the growth in it. And even that process isn't so easy. And there hasn't been a person I've met who I feel oh, that person doesn't have any hard things going on. So, and I think the Torah is pointing out that the bitter things, that often it doesn't mean that what I see as my mission, and maybe this part of my mission, is to turn, and Chabad Chassidus teaches that we're to turn the darkness into light. At least I heard from Matisyahu, who's citing Chabad Chassidus. I haven't looked at it, the sources in depth, or even the sources of saying that. But so I think the process of how do I handle my difficulty? How do I, even just the disposition that, okay, there's this bitter thing. How am I going to turn it into light? Okay, yes, I had some great experience, but now there's some challenge. How am I going to turn it sweet? And the process, one of the things that's so helpful for me is to, well, prayer is very helpful. But one of the things that came to me in prayer yesterday was, you know, Hashem, God put me in that space. That challenge is there for me to grow from. There's going to be some great blessing out of it. And if I remember, just even remember that this challenge is also from the One, helps me realize that, oh yeah, that's what life's about. As the Matisyahu teaches, life, everything's a test. And the test isn't about failing or passing in a school way. It's about, am I going to let this shrink me or going to let this grow me? And Rabbi Sokoloff, as Rabbi Sokoloff taught, there's only one letter between bitter and better, right? Am I going to let this make me bitter or am I going to make this make me better? So, may we know and may we turn whatever bitter things are in our life into light, and may we be kind to ourselves if we find that difficult, and may we be compassionate with ourselves and others as they are along the way turning whatever darkness in their lives into light. Have a good one.